How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, the Proficient Gamer, and I'm here. We got another review for Ghost of Tsushima. I have recently bested the game in all ways and manners. I've just beat it on lethal mode. I've platinumed it, so I've accomplished everything trophy-wise to accomplish. And I even played a little bit afterwards. But this game here has been a beaut. It's been fun to play. It's been a breath of fresh air, especially for 2020. I actually been waiting on this game ever since they released the short little clip they did probably 2 years ago, maybe 3. And now that I beat it, I feel complete. But I'm gonna get into the review. So let's first talk about graphics. So you can't talk about Ghost of Tsushima without talking about the graphics. The graphics of this game is absolutely stunning. From the actual character, from the subtle details in their faces and in their armors and stuff like that. Especially if you play on HDR or you playing on 4K, or if 4K is even available. I just seen pictures from people playing that was way more crisp than my pictures. So I know that whatever resolutions and stuff they're playing on, that the game at max looks absolutely gorgeous. And from the scenery, the leaves, everything just looks, it gives you that feel that you're in some feudal Japan type of situation there, and it immerses you in all the graphical achievements that they did in the game, from shadows, from the sun, from the rain when it started raining, and you just see that subtle glistening on your metal armor, and you see that subtle dampening on your cloth armor, and even on your skin you can see subtle shine on your skin because of the rain. So the graphics is definitely top notch. They definitely did their thing. If you focus on certain things such as the flowers, which I think they spent a huge time on, you can see the dedication that they put into the flowers when you really take time and settle on it, because they didn't put it in there just so it could look pretty while you're riding a horse. They really put it in there so you can utilize it for other stuff like photo mode and things of that nature. But everything looks really, really good. Even the fodder people, the peasants and stuff like that, they still look really good. Your enemies look dope. So as far as in the graphical designs and all they put into the graphics is definitely top notch. 10 out of 10. Definitely get you ready for next gen, which I'm assuming will be slightly better, especially when it comes to lighting and stuff like that, and being able to get those type of dimensions and them types of pixels and triangles and circles that's embedded in graphics, make everything look smoother, more rounder, more square, and so forth. But this was definitely a beautiful game to just watch. There's been times when I was playing it that I just sat there and just watching, like, God damn, this shit beautiful. And you can actually see stuff like that if you go on the page now. I got my whole journey as Gen SAKAI, from beginning to finish. I never played it without live streaming it, so I could play with you guys. So maybe when you're done with this, go check that out. But that was the graphics. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Now the gameplay wasn't that difficult, but now started off, I thought it was going to be somewhat difficult. I thought it would be just a little too much, because I seen where they were taking me as far as in all the equipment I'd be able to use, all the ghost weapons and stuff like that. And I was like, I see what they're doing. I see that I could change to 4 different stances, and I could change from multiple ghost weapons, and I also have 2 bows. And I could throw back powder and all these other stuff, but the mechanisms on the controller to switch from these things in just a blink of an eye while you're in combat, at first it seemed like a lot. Obviously when you play a game, It's a certain muscle memory that you get, and it becomes slightly easier for you to do these things and create beautiful montages of you know, killing a bunch of motherfuckers. At first it is a little intimidating. It can be a little intimidating, especially when you like, oh man, I need to hurry up and switch to my longbow because this person has a helmet on and only these arrows can pierce that helmet. I can't do it with a regular bow. And maybe the person's already looking at you, so you gotta hurry up and switch before they are alerted to your presence. So that's it. It can be a daunting task, but they do give you a small window when you're about to switch between different things, whether it be different stances, whether it be different ghosts, weapons, or whether it be the bow and arrow and stuff. They give you a brief little second of slow motion to help the transition. It's nice, it's helpful sometimes it's not. Sometimes it seems longer and it's like, cool, bad, it's perfect. But sometimes it seems real short. And it's like, oh man, come on, I was just about to switch and now I got stabbed in the face. And when you play on lethal mode, 1-2 hits, especially if you don't have max health, will probably kill you. And if you don't have the perk for you to rise, if you have enough resolve, then you dead, you have to start over. But the beauty of that is, as far as in the gameplay and stuff, it loads really fast. The load time is dumb fast, and I actually heard that they slowed the load time from what it originally was, which was a shocker to me because it's still super fast. I can only imagine how quick the load time was before they patched it. It made it a little bit more slower. But that being said, that is a feat because this is an open world game and it's extremely beautiful. You can tell they put a lot of work into it. So for it to load that quickly after death, or load that quickly when you're loading up the game, that's a miraculous feat. I never seen anything like that, especially that quick. Not on The Last of Us, not on Final Fantasy, not on any of the more recent games. I haven't seen anything load that fast. Like, you jump right in the game. You think you have time to send a text message, you don't. But the other aspects of gameplay, the rolling, the dodging, the blocking, the parrying, they are beautiful in theory. They're beautiful in theory, and I get a little bit more to that in another segment of this video. But when they're on, and it's very beautiful. It's very cinematic. It makes you feel like, yeah, like I'm really samurai right now. I'm really getting into it right now. And it's a beautiful feeling when it happens. It's a beautiful feeling when you parry and everything slows down and you see the sparks from the swords clashing and you can just kill. And when you progress more in the story, spoiler alert, when you get ghost stance and you get certain armors that make people scared of you and they fall on the ground, and if you're far from them when they fall on the ground, they try to run and you can shoot them with the arrow and do all that great stuff. If they're on the ground and they're close to you, you can just stab them while they're on the ground. So all these little elements, as far as gameplay, are great. The stealth is great. I do have my gripes about certain things when it comes to stealth, again, later on in the video. But the gameplay is somewhat flawless. I did do something a little risky to see if I could get stuck. And I did get stuck, but unlike any other game that I've played and I can remember at least, when I got stuck, they didn't kill, they resetted me. And I thought that was super dope because it didn't kill me or anything like that. I didn't have to stop the game, or I didn't have to quit and come back in, or I didn't have to load a checkpoint. It literally just resetted me back to the place I was before I got stuck, and I thought that was super dope. So if you do get stuck, at least you don't have to worry about that. Everything else was pretty good. Some things were a little wonky as far as gameplay, but I'll get into that later. But gameplay, I definitely give it maybe an 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. It's not that bad, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely fun, especially if you really can get the controls well and you know what you want to do. And I think that's a big part of the fighting. Know what you want to do. Know if you want to go in ghost style. Know if you want to do is samurai style. Know if you want to use the bow and arrow more, or know if you want to use the ghost items more, and which ghost item do you want to use. I think having some type of game plan before you jump into some battles is helpful, because you don't want to be in the middle of a battle and you decide, oh, I want to switch it up now, and now you just messed up your flow. And somewhat it is a somewhat of a flow while you are fighting, and it's a rhythm that you get while you're playing, and you just don't want to mess it up. So kind of know what you're going for, know what you want to do. Do you want to get flashy? Do you want to be stealth? Do you want to just survive? Because lethal mode is dangerous. So that's that for the gameplay. Now for the story. Story of the game. It was an amazing story. I really, really enjoyed this story. Not just to see how the samurai honor codes are, but just to see all these different characters and their individual stories come to fruition, from all their struggles that they've been going through, from Masako, from Ishikawa, from Norio, just embedded myself in their life, and they intertwined with our story, and to see their story unravel, and to see them get their vengeance or their justice for the people that wronged them some way, somehow. I thought that was a brilliant side piece to the main story, especially Masako. Masako was one of the only characters that showed a lot of emotion, and I love that they did that with her. They made her super aggressive, they made her super sad, they made her super distraught, they made her the emotional character, and they made her dangerous and scary because of that emotion, because what was driving her to complete her mission, to find out who killed her entire plan, especially coming off the back end of her husband being the first person that died when they fought against Khan on the beach. He was the first person that died, and actually Khan killed him. So I thought that her story was amazing. Ishikawa, his story was amazing because the person that we were after, his student, she was a mystery, and you just didn't know the full story as to their dynamic and why she doing everything she do. Is she really that evil as she seems, or is she in some type of distress? I think that the end of that story was acceptable. I appreciated it in some way, shape, or form. I think she was super talented and dope. I did not trust her at all, but I loved his story. Norio, I loved his story. It's like he struggled from being a monk, he struggled from being a warrior, and try to keep his anger, his human ways in a bottle, so he can still remain a monk. And at the end, as we've seen, if you watch my gameplay, or if you've played it yourself, that Norio went the fuck off. He lost his marbles a little bit, but I loved all the side piece stories, but the main story was absolutely fucking great. I loved Khan. He was so sure of himself, so strong, big man. The fact that he was a close descendant of Genghis Khan was super intriguing to me. I love the fact that he didn't necessarily want to kill the people. He wanted to rule over the people. He gave Jin and he gave his uncle ample opportunities to join him, even though they all said fuck him. I love the betrayal. Oh my God, it was so much betrayal, not just from Ryuzo, but just from regular peasants. There's been side missions that coming up and peasants setting you up, and other people setting you up or try to set you up, and the betrayal of Masako's sister. And it was just like, it was a lot of betrayal, which you would expect in these times, but you didn't think they would lay it on so thick. They laid it on so thick, and I loved it. I loved it because you just didn't know which way people was going to go. It was super satisfying killing Ryuzu. I hated the Straw Hats after he betrayed me, and I wanted to kill them every step of the way. So I like how the game and its story can provoke your emotions enough for you to pick a side of sorts. But Genghis Khan in itself, not Genghis Khan, but Khan, Koton Khan, he was an amazing character. He was a super intriguing antagonist. I love how the story progressed, and Jin got more accustomed to being called a ghost and being a ghost, and actually adopted the ghost title and was there for the people as the ghost, and to the point that it caused conflict with his uncle. I love that because now they was butting heads, even though they had the same agenda. And I love the ending. Again, another spoiler alert, but I love the ending when you got to choose between killing your uncle or letting your uncle live and remaining the ghost and remaining a bounty on people on your head and stuff like that. I loved it. I love the ending. I love that, you got to fight Khan as a samurai, and I love that you got to fight Khan as a ghost. And by that I mean you did the original duel, and when you're dueling, you can't use weapons. You can't use no other weapon but the sword. But when you are quote unquote ghost, you can use whatever in your arsenal, and you probably want to, because you're not at that point. You're not just fighting Khan. You're fighting Khan and the rest of his men, the rest of the Mongols. So I loved that it gave us both that, and it wasn't just simple as, a duel and I beat Khan. Oh yeah, it was you beat Khan, then something happened, and then you had to fight Khan. You had to fight through a barrage of enemies, and you still had to kill Khan and keep dodging from Khan and stuff like that. I love that. It felt real arcadey, like a real arcade game, but it felt like a story too. It's hard to piece it together, but I loved it, and I loved that his uncle came at the end to help with the invasion of Khan's last stronghold. But yeah, the story was so amazing, man. It definitely pulled me in a lot of areas, even from the small things, from Jin meeting up with his old housemaid or whatever she was, and her talking about his past, talking about him and his father, talking about his father, and you find out that after Jin's mother died, her and his father was close together. They dated or had relations with each other, but you get a sense of that from speaking with her, and you can see that she's old and she's dying. She has some type of Alzheimer's or something, and she thought that he was his father, and like little stuff like that. It was super moving. She showed you some beautiful sights. She helped you with poisons, but little stuff like that. It's amazing. I love the mythic tales where they show you all the mythic tales that kind of look like. Let me see. They kind of look like that. And they show you about all the legendary samurais and archers and stuff like that. I love that. It was always story time with this one particular guy who keeps showing up at every part of the island. But all of these things are pieces to the story that helps you get better, that helps you get stronger, that helps you get some type of virtues in your life, and some type of moral, and some sort of code for yourself. And it pushed you in a direction to lead the story to greatness, and they definitely did that. So kudos to the story, 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about the map. So the map and the progression of the game was super interesting. As you know, there's no icons for you to follow. If you want to track something, you have to use the win. I thought that was innovative. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, use of the touchpad, which a lot of games don't necessarily do, not to what I believe the full extent of the touchpad is. So that was great that they implemented the win. It wasn't super difficult to follow. And then you had the help of the birds. When you get super duper close to one object or one thing that you want to track, the birds will show up, or the foxes show up, and they'll show you to the path. So I love that. I love the win. I love the fact that the whole map is fogged. The fog of war. I love that, because it wasn't as simple as I want to go here, I want to go here. No, you need to clear out the map. And in order to clear out the map, you need to go these places, or you need to take back a certain fort or stronghold. And I thought that was super dope, because it made you have to, or made you want to go around the map and do extra stuff. I know sometimes people don't like to do side missions because they're like, nah, I just want to get into the story. But it piques the interest of, I believe, the average gamer. Even though me personally, I love side missions. I do side missions all day and then forget that I'm supposed to do a story. So I love the fact that it just piques your interest and it makes you want to clear out this fog. Because what else can I find? Where is the hot springs? Where are the bamboo strikes? Where are some other interesting things? Maybe I want some different types of armors. Maybe I want some other different types of vanity items, but I can't find that stuff unless I clear the fog of war. So I love that progression of the map, and I love that progression of the story, because you start this, you get little indicators from helping strangers randomly. They tell you certain spots where they seen things happen, and it was like a little rumor area. And when you clear the rumor area, then you clear the fog of war. But in order to get to that rumor area, you have to clear the fog of war. And you can always wear the traveler outfit that helps you clear out more fog of war. So I just love that aspect. I never really seen anything like that before. Maybe that's just my ignorance, but I thought that was super cool. I love the map. I love the progression of the map. I thought that was a very aspect. I love the fact that you had to really follow wind and even listen to certain things, because there were certain sounds that the game made when you was close to a fox den or fox shrine. Certain sounds it make when you was close to other things, and for the hot springs, steam. You have to look for steam in the sky, in the distance. So I loved all these little aspects to let you know that you was onto something, or you was close to something, and it did nothing but pique your interest and made you really want to explore this island that they created and really get into it as best and as most as you possibly can before you continue with the story. So kudos to that. Definitely was a brilliant idea, and I loved it. Now I want to talk about a few cons that I have, because the game was amazing, it's great, but it's not perfection. There's certain things that that kind of threw me when I first seen it, such as the walking through bamboo, or what looks like bamboo. I don't know if it was necessarily bamboo, but you walk through it sometimes, and it was crazy. You could see that your body is just in it, and I was like, y'all could have solidified these things. I mean, it's not so much that I can't run through them if they were solid, but it's not so much that I can't navigate with the horse through these things if they were solid. I really, really didn't like that I could walk through these thick pieces of bamboo that was, thick as some little trees. So I didn't like that. I also didn't like that in certain subtitles, not subtitles, in certain shorts, what's it called? Cutscenes. Sorry, certain cutscenes where, especially when I had it on Japanese, because I started on the Japanese speech until I realized it might have been a little bit too much for my viewers to watch it and read it. I switched it over, but while I was in the Japanese voice overs, the facial expressions sucked sometimes in the cutscenes. The facial expressions, especially for Jin, they weren't very emotional. They got better with the story, but sometimes it just I wasn't getting it. I wasn't feeling it when it came to his facial expressions. I felt like they kind of dropped the ball for his facial expressions. Again, like I said, Masako was the only character that I've really seen with a lot of facial expression and a lot of emotion. So I kind of missed that when it came to Jin. And some other characters like Ishikawa, he didn't really show too much of his emotion either, or at least the facial expression of it. Another thing that I really didn't like was when I did have it in the Japanese mode. Sometimes when you're walking around, you can hear peasants just talking amongst themselves. And when I walked past these people talking amongst themselves while I was in the Japanese mode, subtitles didn't show up. So I don't know what they're saying. Now, it's not anything of importance, of course, but I'm a person that loves them little things in the game when they talk about what's going on in my story because they heard a rumor or they just gossiping about something that they heard of. I want to hear that. I want to read that. If I'm in Japanese mode, I want to read that. And when I switched it over to English, those things were present, and they were talking about the things that I have been doing as Ghost, or they were talking about my uncle and stuff like that. And I want to hear them types of things. So I don't like that they didn't have the subtitles for that. They might have corrected that now. I don't know, because I stopped playing on the Japanese mode way early in the game. But I definitely didn't like that. I also didn't like, and I don't know if anybody else had this issue, but I didn't like that it felt like I'm pushing buttons and is not inputting it within the game. There's been times where I will push the block button and he don't block. There's been times where I will try to switch stances and the stance don't switch, or they have me jump as if I didn't push the R2 button to hold it down first. Or sometimes when I'm trying to shoot my bow and arrow, it won't do the action of him pulling the arrow back to shoot. It'll just have me just holding the bow. I definitely didn't like that. It got me killed a lot of times when I know I'm pushing the buttons. I wish I had two cameras to show you the screen of the game versus my fingers, so you can see that I'm pushing these buttons and they're not being implemented in the game. Again, it got me killed a lot of times. It got me beat up. And sometimes, especially when I'm in a rhythm, like I said earlier, sometimes we fighting in this game, it's a rhythm. When I'm in the rhythm of fighting and I expect for me to block because I push the block button and then it don't happen, I get hit, my rhythm get knocked off. And then I have to get it back. But by the time I get it back playing on lethal mode or hard mode, I'm already dead because I got hit 2-3 times already. So I definitely did not like that. That was one of the biggest things I didn't like, because I'm pushing the button. So do what I push. It doesn't matter with anything else. It doesn't matter. I push this. That should be what's happening. And some things just didn't work. Like when you are in spear, when you're in the spear stance. I forgot what stance it was, but when you're in the stance that deals with spearmen, and you upgrade it fully, or you upgrade it to a certain point, anytime a spearman swings and I swing at the same time, I'm supposed to automatically parry their attack no matter what. That wasn't happening as well. That didn't happen with Genghis Khan either, and he is a spearman, so I think that should have been, I don't even think that should have been a thing if it wasn't going to work all across the board. But that's just me. I definitely didn't like that either. And another thing I didn't like was the takedowns. There wasn't a lot of variety of takedowns. Of course, while you're upgrading your Tonto, your little sword, you get different types of takedowns. So you get, I think, 2 or 3 different types of takedowns. But me, the person such as myself, who collects a lot of things and was able to max out the Tanto really, really fast, to the point that I skipped stage 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be, and I got to the last stage where I maxed it out, and all I get is the quick takedown where he just stabbed him. And I'm like, that's cool, but can we do some different ones? Like, can you grab their face and stab them like that, or can you stab them in the heart, or like just switch it up, because it gets boring. It makes you not want to do stealth as much, because it's nothing different. You don't have a certain variety of stealth kills. Even from you jumping off and stabbing somebody and then kicking them off. Oh, that was cool, but what else? What else are we going to do? I want different takedowns. I want different styles. Like Last of Us gave me different styles to beat people up. When you kept pushing box, whether you had a brick in your hand, whether you had your fist, whether you had a pipe, like different animations were happening, especially if you was next to a wall or next to a desk. Like you used them things to hit them with. So I would love to see some type of variety of takedowns and stuff like that when you are actually doing the stealth. And there's no takedown for if a person's on a horse. I thought that was wild as well. I thought that was a missed opportunity, because people be on horses. Why is there no way to sneak up and take them down? Because I snuck up on a person while he was on a horse. He was right next to the tall grass. I snuck up on him, and there was no implication to stealth kill him. I had to let myself be seen. He had to come down, or I had to kill the horse so I could knock him down and do something like that. But it's no stealth. There's no pulling them off and then stabbing them or anything like that. And I thought that was a missed opportunity as well. They definitely need to work on it. If they're going to make a part 2, if they're going to upgrade it or give some more downloadable content, not just the co-op mode that's coming soon in the fall. But definitely add different takedowns. We want to see different variety of takedowns. Not even just the takedowns, the chain assassinations. We want to see different types of chain of assassinations. The same chain of assassinations, whether you're doing 2 or 3 people, is exactly the same. No difference, no nothing. I hated that. So that's just a little bit of the cons. Some of the big cons that I had. Those last 2 being the biggest for me. Now, let's talk about the outfits. So, the outfits of the game really makes a huge chunk of the game. There are so many outfits. There are so many face masks. There are so many, headgear, and different colors of some of them as well. And it gives you so many options to be a samurai. It gives you options to be a ronin. It gives you options to be the archer. It gives you options to be the ghost. It gives you so many options, and you can intertwine these options as well. If you want to wear the archer with the thief mask and the ronin hat, you can do that, and you can mix it up so many ways. You can mix it up with so many different colors that it's fun. It's not too crazy. It's not too wonky, even though I do wear the towel with nothing else, just the towel and the monkey mask, and I call myself the Monkey King. But other than that, they're beautiful. I love that they have the regular merchant plus the black merchant and the white merchant to give you those different variety of colors when it comes to your costumes, and the other things that's attached to your costumes, such as headbands, hats, and other face gear. Anytime you change the color of the outfit, you get those as well. But the outfits, they look amazing. They even have an outfit for the Mongol. You could dress as a Mongol. But the outfits really make the game, because it gives you that feeling. It gives you that feeling. It gives you it kind of propels you to figure out what you want to do at this moment. You know, you can come up to a stronghold and you can be dressed as the ghost, and you be like, I'm dressed as the ghost. I'm gonna do it stealthily. You can be wearing the samurai armor, and you can be like, I'm gonna do a standoff. I'm gonna confront them because, you know, I'm looking like a samurai. I might as well. And sometimes it just don't look good to do stealth with a real bright blue, yellow, and white samurai gear on with the big ass helmet with the horn hanging out of it. You know, you just want to go head up with them. And then sometimes when you got the archer outfit on, not only does it gives you the archer feel, but it also gives you perks for your archery, such as extra concentration time and stuff like that. So the outfits definitely subconsciously, I believe, make you play a certain way, and they just look dope. They just look really good, especially when you upgrade them. And every time you upgrade it, you see that there's a change in your outfit, that it is actually been upgraded. I think the only one that doesn't actually change is the last one. The last one and the second to the last one was the same, but you see the progression of your armor, and you see the progression of the outfit. And then if you really pay attention, you see that to upgrade it to them, I think the last 2, you need silk. And if you pay attention to the outfit, you see it look silky. It gives you that silky feel of slightly shiny and smooth and delicate, especially for the archer outfit. You definitely can see it in that. So I love the fact that they added the things that you need to upgrade it, and in upgrading it, you get the upgraded face mask, you get the upgraded helmet, you get the upgraded outfit, and so forth, just from upgrading it, which gives you more options to mix and match whichever you want. You can get real crazy with it, and there's so many headbands. There's so many headbands, and there's so many face masks. It's not that many outfits. It's enough. It's definitely enough outfits, but the colorways of the outfits plus all the other gear kind of gives you that freedom, makes you feel like you have that freedom to get as wonky or as cool or as Ronin or as Straw Hat as you would like. And I love that about it. I think the outfits really, really, really make up how you're going to play, how you feel like playing that day. And again, I think most of the outfits have perks. You know, the Mongol outfit makes them not detect you super fast. Like, they detect you super slow. You can literally walk up to the Mongol, and it'll take like 2 or 3 seconds for them to be like, oh man, this isn't one of us. You know, and like I said, the archer, he gets extra concentration. Some of them you get extra health. So they do come with perks. So, you know, if you're a beginner, you might you might use one that gives you extra health because you're like, man, I get hit so many times, I need the extra health. Or you might get one to help with resolve, or you might get one that helps with your damage input or your damage reduction. But it's solely up to you. And when you get to a certain level or a certain point of the game, where you don't necessarily need the perks, you can mix and match. Because that's what I was doing. I was mixing and match. I was Ghost here, I was Samurai here, Ronin here, Straw Hat here, and sometimes I intermingle them. And I love one of the hats that looked like Kung Lao. It looked like a Kung Lao hat. It's always tilted and it's metal, and it's one of the Kensei items, if I'm not mistaken, but I love that item. So as far as outfits, it's definitely something to play with. Definitely something to make sure you spend your time to get. Spend your time to your flowers, which is a beautiful way of adding currency to get different colors for your outfits. Definitely use your flowers. Collect flowers every time you see them, because I love switching up my colors. I love mixing and matching my colors, and not just for one outfit, but for the outfit, the headband, or the headgear and the face gear. So definitely love the outfits. Love the outfits. But next is photo mode. So photo mode. This was the best photo mode I have ever seen in my life. The photo mode is gorgeous. The fact that you can add particles, the fact that you can do the exposure, the light, you can change the time of day, which either amplifies or eliminates shadows. You could change your facial expression. You could choose to have your headgear stuff on, or you could choose to have it off. You can make kind of like a little playback video situation where you angle different cameras, and I don't know how many you could do, but it seemed like it's endless. I didn't really test it, but you could really create motion little pictures. You can control the wind in which direction you want it to blow. You can do so much crap, and you can damn near stop and do photo mode on any part of the game except for cutscenes. So whether you're attacking, whether you're getting attacked, whether you're down and about to die, whether they're down and they're about to die, whether you're in the motion of swinging, whether you're in the motion of switching your stance, it does not matter. If you can dream it, you can create it. And I love this photo mode. This photo mode has been keeping people from beating the game because it's so much beauty in the game because of the graphics. There's so much beauty in the game because of the lighting and all the other things that they have in it, as far as the different color of trees and the mountains and all the landscaping that they did on the game, that you could just really be walking to a destination and be like, oh, this looks sweet. Let me take a picture. And you want to take a picture, you want to get them angles right. Next thing you know, you just spent 10 minutes trying to do this 1 or 2 pictures. And then you might, oh, this would be better with this outfit. Then you switch your outfit. It's real live like you're having a photo shoot. And it takes a lot of your time. And if you look online or you look on Twitter and stuff like that, you see people posting their versions of their pictures, and some people have mastered this photo mode as if they're the ones actually taking the photo. And I know that some of them are taking the photos, taking them on their computer and edited them, which is fine. But They are taking and making amazing pictures. I never seen this many implications of photo mode online or just for me in general. And I love the photo mode for Spider-Man, but this photo mode here, and I love the photo mode for Last of Us as well. But this photo mode is it it's engaging. It's super engaging. Makes you want to make the most coolest, the most beautiful, the most artistic pictures that you could create in your mind. You know, from throwing a kunai knife, from slicing a head off, from stabbing somebody, from scaring somebody, from standing over their dead bodies. You know, just anything that you could think of. Photo mode is fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I think it was a beautiful addition, and the fact that it was so easy. All you gotta do is push direction right, and you're in it, and then everything stops. You can keep things moving. You can choose to have it a moving picture. You can choose to have it a stable picture. There's just so many choices, so many options, so many things you could do. One thing I would have liked is if I could move the camera damn near anywhere I want. The camera, it can move back far, but it's still centered around Jen. But other than that, photo mode is amazing. Amazing balls. Seriously. If you playing it or about to play it or haven't played it yet and you just plan on playing it, definitely get into photo mode, experiment, mess with certain times of the day, mess with the exposure, mess with the filters, mess with the facial expressions, mess with the camera positionings and everything it has to offer, because you could create some truly beautiful and stunning pictures. And just some dope stuff, and definitely put it for PS4 share, hashtag, and then sometimes they share people's stuff on their Twitter and so forth. So definitely get into that. Photo mode, beautiful. So overall, I love Ghost of Tsushima. I definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Ghost of Tsushima has been a joy to play. It's been an extremely beautiful game. It's been a breath of fresh air. I really always love Sucker Punch. Not everything that they have created, but they made a huge impact on my life, especially after they created Infamous. I love this game. It was so unique. It wasn't like Sekiro, which I did not play because I saw this before I saw Sekiro. So then when I saw Sekiro, I was like, it's too animated, it's too cartoony for me. I want something a little bit more realistic. So I wanted to wait for this. I'm still going to go back and play Sekiro because I heard great things about it. But this is what I was waiting for, and it was worth the wait. It was an amazing game. Everything was beautiful. I love the collector's edition. It was short, it was sweet, but it gave me a lot. I don't know if you can see the banners behind me came from that. If you didn't look at my unboxing, you could definitely check that out on my page. But I really loved it. I love the face mask here from the collector's edition as well. But this game has been fun, man. It's been super fun. I've chalked up a lot of hours. Again, like I said, I platinumed it. I'm waiting for the co-op mode. I'm definitely going to get into that if you want to play with me. Shady50 is my PlayStation tag. Shady50. 50 as in 50. But yeah, I loved it, man. It definitely was a great game. I think my biggest gripe, again, was the inputting of buttons, me pushing buttons and them not registering in the game. But other than that, man, I could deal with that. I could deal with a couple of deaths. I mean, dying on the game is to happen. So I'm not really tripping about that. Everything about it was beautiful, though. I loved it. Slight little things here and there, like I said, in the cons. But, I mean, you can't complain, man. This is one of the best, if not, I think, really only unique feudal Japan samurai games that I've ever played or I've ever seen. And I will be playing it again. It will be getting some replay value out of me. I definitely recommend it for anyone that haven't played it or was on the fence about it. Please play it. Play it for the story. Play it for the photo mode. Play it for the beauty. And that's all. I'm the Proficient Gamer. Appreciate you.